Hello my friends, welcome to the channel and thank you for watching. The World Cup is over, now back to the Premier League and it's gonna be already match day 17. Who is going to do it in the second part of the season? Please leave your comment in the description down below. Let's go. Let me remind you the table before the break. Arsenal on top with 37 points. Man City second with 32 points. Newcastle United 30 points. Spurs 29 points. Manchester United 26 points. Liverpool 22 points. Brighton 21 points. Chelsea 21 points. Fulham 19 points. Brentford 19 points. Crystal Palace 19. Aston Villa 18. Leicester City 17. Bournemouth 16 points. Leeds United 15 points. West Ham United 14 points. Everton 14 points. Nottingham Forest 13 points. Southampton 12 points and Wolves 10 points. And keep in mind, some teams got games in hand because of the death of the Queen. Few games were postponed, so you can double check if your team has a game in hand or not. I think Arsenal are the biggest losers here. I know they are top of the table, but they had the momentum. The biggest loser in terms of they were winning. They were having some good time and all of a sudden this break happened and now they have to go back from zero and with injuries in the World Cup and they have probably to buy a few players in January. We don't know how that is gonna work out. Let's start by this game here. On Monday, 26th, Boxing Day, Brentford against Tottenham Hotspurs, a London derby. We don't know how good or bad players are going to be after this World Cup break. So I have nothing really to measure the teams at the moment. So this one is going to be really random for me. A London derby. I assume that Tottenham Hotspurs had more players on international duty than Brentford. So therefore, I think Brentford had more time to prepare than Tottenham Hotspurs. So I think Brentford are going to beat Tottenham Hotspurs 2-1. The second game on Boxing Day is going to be between Crystal Palace and Fulham. Another London derby here. Oh, okay. I'm going for 2-1 again for Crystal Palace. They are playing home. Zaha didn't go to the World Cup. Fulham also got a very good team. They were on good run before the international break. It's gonna be in the last few games between the two teams. Palace won more times, not like almost all the times. They only drew a couple times in the last five games, and the rest been like Crystal Palace wins. So yeah, another win for Crystal Palace. Next up we have Everton against Wolves. Frank Lampard need to start winning some games. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of excuses, okay? He is not far away from the relegation zone. I hope that the second part of the season is going to be a lucky one for him. Been struggling with a lot of injuries and all that, but I don't want to give any excuse. You have just to start performing. And this game is going to be very tough for Everton because Wolves just got Lopetegui. You know, a new manager bounce. They have a lot of players that didn't go to the international duty. So Frank Lampard at home at Goodison Park. This one is going to be tough, but I see at the end Everton winning 1-0 against Wolves. Next up, we have Leicester City against Newcastle. What a game of football that is going to be. Leicester City, they were struggling at the beginning of the season, but they started picking up. I think they are one of those teams that will regret that this World Cup break, because they were in shape. Newcastle also were flying. I think they beat Chelsea in the last game before the break. It's going to be an interesting game of football. I think it's going to be 2-2 between Leicester City and Newcastle United. If we look at some statistics in the last few games, we see that Newcastle, it's been like a half-half, I can say. Leicester City won probably 3 times and Newcastle a couple of times in the last five games, but these are different kind of teams that we have at the moment, with Eddie Howe and Newcastle building a team that nobody want to play against. Next up, we have Southampton against Brighton. Southampton got a new coach. Brighton been doing very good, with the team that Graham Potter built, and De Zerbi is just getting the fruit of Mr. Potter's hard work. Southampton playing home, Brighton. This one is going to be another draw, 2-2 at the end. Yeah. Next up, we have Aston Villa against Liverpool. What a game. Mr. Good Evening, oh my goodness, against Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp been so up and downs, and a lot of excuses and fight and critics and all that. Aston Villa got the momentum, new manager bounce. Mr. Big Good Evening been doing pretty good, getting the best out of his players. This one is going to be 2-1 to Aston Villa. Yeah. Liverpool been winning more, but Aston Villa are different teams right now under Mr. Good Evening Uda Emery. Next up, we have Arsenal against West Ham United, a London derby. Arsenal must be really gutted because of Gabriel Jesus and because of this international break or World Cup break, whatever you want to call it. They had the momentum. They are top of the league. After the break, you don't know how players are going to feel. So we restart the season literally. So a London derby, 2-2 at the end. That's the way I see it. In the last few games, Arsenal been winning. Arsenal won like 3 times, drew 1. The 27th between Chelsea Football Club and Bournemouth. By the way, I'm going to make a special video about the Chelsea game, so I'm not going to take all your time here. Chelsea need to bounce back. They were doing poorly before the break, so the break kind of benefited Chelsea. Let's see if some of their injured players are going to be back and how they're going to look. You never know. So Chelsea are going to win it 3-1. Yeah, 3-1 to Chelsea Football Club. So Bournemouth being kind of a boogie team for Chelsea, but this time I think Chelsea are going to beat them 3-1. Let's go. This one is going to be between Manchester United and Nottingham Forest. Man United again, they had few players in the final of the World Cup. Probably it's not going to be possible for them to play this game. And I'm talking about Martinez and also Rafael Varane. Manchester United, they lost a few games in the preseason, in this, quote unquote, preseason, the World Cup preseason. But I'm sorry for Nottingham Forest, but I see Manchester United winning this one 2-1 at the end. Wednesday 28th, Leeds United against Manchester City. Listen, this game is going to be very tough. Jesse March is somebody that not getting the credit he deserves. He beat big teams. That's what he does. Completely destroyed Chelsea, won against Liverpool. And are we going to see another upset? We don't know. Manchester City got a lot of players that played the World Cup, but still Manchester City. A well-oiled machine. You know what I mean? Alvarez on fire. Erling Haaland didn't go to the World Cup, so he's refreshed, ready, and angry. When Erling Haaland is angry, be careful because you might get hurt. Sorry, Jesse. 3-1 to Manchester City away. In the last few games, the last 5 games between two teams, look. 4-0 Manchester City away. 7-0 at home against Leeds. City actually lost at home against Leeds in 2021. Yeah, they lost 1-2. 1-1 between them in 2020. And 2-1 to Leeds United actually long time ago in 2004. There we go, guys. That was my preview for the Premier League match week 17. Leave your comment and let's keep the conversation going. God bless.